The forever war is over. That was the message from President Joe Biden after the United States completed its withdrawal from Afghanistan. Biden said he had no regrets over ending the two-decade conflict and praised what he called the biggest airlift operation in history. Now the U.S. says it is in no rush to recognize the Taliban as Afghanistan's legitimate rulers and will use its economic leverage to keep the militants in check.
Last night in Kabul, the United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the longest war in American history.
A war in which the Taliban are claiming victory. Footage of their fighters inspecting Kabul airport the morning after the Americans left went around the world. In the US, President Biden vehemently defended the highly criticized withdrawal.
So we're left with a simple decision. Either follow through on the commitment made by the last administration and leave Afghanistan, or say we weren't leaving and commit another tens of thousands more troops going back to war.
Now the international community is looking for a way to deal with the Taliban. The most urgent issues: how to evacuate foreign nationals and at-risk Afghans who still want out, and long-term stability. One major player in this game of diplomatic chess is Qatar. The Gulf nation has been the diplomatic outpost for the Taliban for years. Qatar has also supported Western nations in their evacuation efforts and their negotiations with the Taliban, hosting various diplomats and officials in recent days.
I personally believe that there is no way around talks with the Taliban. On the one hand, we have to solve very practical problems. For example, how to continue the operation of the airport. On the other hand, we simply cannot afford instability in Afghanistan. It would encourage terrorism and have a massive impact on Afghanistan's neighboring countries.
Last week, in a bomb attack at Kabul airport, 13 US service members and dozens of civilians were killed. Many more were wounded. The attack was claimed by the Afghan division of the Islamic State, ISK. For them, Biden had a firm warning in his address.
And to ISIS-K, we are not done with you yet. As Commander-in-Chief, I firmly believe the best path to guard our safety and our security lies in a tough, unforgiving, targeted, precise strategy that goes after terror where it is today, not where it was 2 decades ago.
With such strong words, it's up to the Biden administration to define what ending this war means, and up to the Taliban to define for a watching world what their leadership will look like.
Let's cross straight over to Kabul, where journalist Franz Marty is standing by for us. Franz, the Afghan government and foreign troops are now gone. The Taliban have the task of running the country. How are they going about it? Do they have a timetable for forming a government?
Taliban have said very little about this. They now again said they will announce a government, that they have in the past 2 weeks, over 2 weeks, conducted talks to form a new government, form a cabinet. Yesterday they said there has been a 3-day gathering of high-ranking Taliban leaders in the southern city of Kandahar, the movement's birthplace. But they didn't really specify what this exactly means, how this will exactly look. So far, they have more or less tried to let things just going as they have gone before. For example, state electricity provider told me when the Taliban took over, the employees there were more or less told that they should just run their business as usual, run electricity supply as usual, and the Taliban haven't so far interfered. This will, of course, change. When and how remains to be seen.
What's the situation, Franz, for those who don't want to live under the Taliban rule, who may indeed have something to fear from them and are desperate to leave Afghanistan?
For them, it's difficult. The airlift is over. Many, of course, didn't get in. What Biden also didn't say is that the airlift was to be honest, completely random. People with no papers got on planes. People that got everything right remained here. Land borders are closed now. They don't let Afghans in. There have been like videos that apparently a large number of Afghans tried to cross illegally into Iran, somewhere in the mountains. In other places, there have apparently been 1 or 2 charter flights from Mazar-e-Sharif that went out, but this has also stopped. So at the moment, there's like really no way out. That said, given that the Qataris and Turks are apparently helping the Taliban to reopen Kabul airport, there might be soon again commercial flights. Plus, if, for example, the Americans or other nations would like give guarantees to neighboring countries that Afghans just cross the border to travel to a third country, be it to the States or Germany, they could maybe agree to like give visas, but this is all work in progress now.
Millions of Afghans are dependent on external humanitarian aid. Is that aid still flowing, France?
To some extent, but like at the moment, it's all like in chaos. As I said, for example, there's no new Taliban government. Aid organizations who try to liaise with the Taliban don't know with whom exactly. There are different people claiming to be in charge, like for international aid organizations on the Taliban side. And so they try their best, but at the moment there's like a lot of uncertainty, and this stopped like a lot of the programming from aid organizations due to several reasons. But efforts are on the way to like change this, but it's certainly challenging.
Franz, thank you very much for now. That was journalist Franz Marti in Kabul.